Again, it's a pleasure to be back and it's a pleasure to be sharing with you. So today I'm going to talk about career in business development as a pharmacist, and this is a topic that actually has been in my mind for a period of time, and majorly because I've been having conversation with some of my colleagues, and the question has been, I'm seeing opportunities, and most people are just asking for business developers and all that, which I don't feel probably I would be suited for. And therefore, the question is, are you really not suited for such a job, or is it not part of the core practice areas that you've been trained on, or that you feel you prepared for? If I was trained to expect that I would get a job in a hospital setting, as a clinical pharmacist, then whenever any other job opportunity comes up, I would kind of be not so pro applying for that job. I would feel like I'm not qualified. I'm not suited for that kind of a role because I didn't know about it and I didn't know it's an opportunity where a pharmacist can practice it. And therefore, the key thing for me in this particular session is to see, what does business development really mean? What does it entail? And then once we know what it entails, we can move to the next phase where we look at it in the sense that, as a pharmacist, what key capabilities and competencies do you have that would make you suitably suited for such a role? And how then do you take advantage of that skill set to deliver on the role and actually to be successful at it? So in delivering on the job and being successful at it will depend on whether you've taken up that challenge to take up the role, applying for it, getting the opportunity position, then now doing the actual work. So I'm going to capture all these in this particular session, and I'm hoping it's going to be enlightening to you. As we're getting into the discussion, I'd urge you, for all of those who are listening in or following up with this kind of series of discussions, please subscribe to the channel, share with your colleagues. Let's promote the development and help grow the channel as much as we can so that we make these sustainable, and this is going to be a success in our own professional development journeys as a team and as a generation. So then the first thing for me, I would look at it from, what is a business? And when we talk about what a business is, there are different definitions that we all have. And these definitions are dependent on how do we consider ourselves as business developers in the different areas where we're practicing. So a business, one, we could consider the business, the trade, where we exchange for goods and services for a particular pay. That is one, the kind of business. A business can be an institution that offers services and products for a particular revenue stream. Or your business as a professional, if I'm talking to pharmacists, your business is the activity that you engage in for a pay as a profession. So your profession can be a business. It can be the work that earns you money, that is a business, or the operation that involves transaction between goods and services for a pay. So it means in a business, it can be the noun or the adverb, but in this case, our key bit when we're looking at bit in terms of business development is the business process, the activity, the verb, the exchange of goods and services for a pay or for additional other value benefits in terms of, depending whether you're for profit or not for profit. Is it impact driven or is it going to be commercial success driven? So when we look at business from that standpoint, then the next thing we need to ask ourselves, what is business development? And one of the definitions that I got from Investopedia is that when business development is the simplest, the business development can be summarized as the ideas, initiatives, and activities that help make a business better. These include activities that will help increase revenues, growth in terms of business expansion, increasing profitability of the organization, and building strategic partnerships by making strategic business decisions. So all these activities that would help the organization raise more revenue, grow in terms of their business expansion. If they had one branch, can they open up other branches? Can they increase their profitability? It had a profit of, let's say, for example, 10,000 USD this year. Based on your activities, can we move it from 10,000 US dollars to 25 or even 15 in the subsequent year? And if it's driven by those activities, then we say you are critical in driving business development of the organization, in the sense that from our definition of business, the business development is about increasing the trade in goods and services for additional revenue. And therefore, in that case, if you're able to do an activity that gets the company more customers, or have the same customers paying more for the goods and services that you're offering, or those customers referring other people to come into the business or buying larger substantial quantities, then you're doing your job as a business developer and making that conversion help in improving the revenues of the organization, grow the business, and improve its profitability. And therefore, that makes sure that the business would be sustainable on one end, And beyond being sustainable, the business is able to achieve its growth trajectory and ensure that it continues delivering the impact and delivering the goods and services that people hope to achieve from that business. So once we understand that as the critical bit, then we ask ourselves, when I talk about it as career and business development as a pharmacist, what are the key areas that you can play in as a pharmacist? What are the key opportunities that lie out there? I believe in our pharmacy training, we have the core technical, that is the healthcare-based background in terms of pharmacy knowledge. You understand what the clinical pharmacy practice entails. Actually, the healthcare system management systems, you have an understanding of what it entails, from healthcare service delivery, medicine supply and management, healthcare financing. You have information on the health information management systems, get into human resource development and leadership and governance. So when you look at the 6 health system pillars as per the WHO framework, then in all of them, you have an aspect that you understand. And the major bit of them that actually have been the core of our training has been around medicine, supply chain management, and the other bit has been in health service delivery, where we talk about the clinical component. But it doesn't mean that the others are neglected and the others don't have to play a role, because when you talk about health information management systems, then you need to know how many patients you've taken care of, what were their needs, how do you actually plan your operations and your activities as a pharmacist to ensure you don't have patients not getting the services that they really need. So that is about health information management system. Healthcare financing, you need to have the finances to procure the medicines. You need to have the finances to pay your debts where they're necessary. You need the salaries to be paid in the organization where you're working. How do we work around those financing modalities? Then we need leadership that actually gives the strategic direction on what's going to be done over a period of time. And therefore, as a pharmacist in our training, we have an understanding of all these core driving components of our healthcare systems. And therefore, as a business developer, the key bit for you would be to ask yourself, how then and where do I apply this knowledge depending on the organization that I'm going to work for? And oftentimes for these, I'm looking at it from business development, not for other organizations outside the healthcare system, but within the healthcare system. And if they are outside the healthcare system, it would be, how do you become a business developer for them with a focus on what preferential advantage you have in the healthcare space? How do you offer them a solution that could help them venture into our healthcare space, to help give solutions, to help design interventions that are going to be impactful and sustainable in terms of driving growth for them and also for the healthcare sector? And on that account, some of the key organizations that we say outside the healthcare sector would, let's say, for example, technology companies. You have a tech company that is doing their work in different areas. Can you design a pharmaceutical supply chain management integrated system that would help them optimize our pharmaceutical distribution network? If you can do that, that is already a solution that you'll be presenting. That can be anchored from you offering them a solution to the manufacturing companies, distributors, wholesalers, retail community pharmacies, and even hospitals, to the end consumer, who is the patient at the end of the day. So if you can work with a technology company to design such a solution, which they now bring into the market to the pharmaceutical industry or the healthcare sector, which would be adopted. Then if it's adopted, there's going to be a revenue model that has to be designed. That is going to drive growth of the business. That's going to bring new business, new opportunities. So those are possibilities. Look at it from that, go to the financial sector. We have banks, we have microfinance institutions, social circles, and all that, who are dealing in financial solutions. But the question is, when they're designing these financial solutions, do they have the pharmacists, the healthcare professionals with the background in what needs and what gaps in financing exist in the industry? As a pharmacist, having worked in the healthcare sector and having the background knowledge on what are the gaps, you can help them design a financial solution, a package that can be offered to the market. And that market would be pharmacists, healthcare, other medical doctors, physicians, clinicians, radiologists, radiographers, whichever healthcare practitioner you've interacted with, to address their financing needs. For either they're starting their businesses, they're running established businesses, or they're doing work within an established organization for other people, or even the public sector. Because once we can find a way to design a solution, that solution can drive our growth in terms of delivery of services and solutions. Public sector, you can talk about it from the public-private partnerships. Can we have a financing model to ensure the government can get the value they need? We can look about the managed equipment services, supplies, and all that. As the contract has been negotiated, some of the key things that were coming up were in terms of there was a letter of support for the financing. How can you, be as a business developer, help overcome such kind of bottlenecks and challenges? That's not what I'm going to delve into, but you have to ask yourself, what bottlenecks do we have in the industry? What probable solutions can we have from this organization, and how do we make it work? And this discussion, as I mentioned initially, started from a point where The job was being offered by one of the private healthcare clinics in the country, needing a business developer. And what I saw for it was, this is a healthcare organization, healthcare facility, private clinic. What is their revenue model that is? So we need to look at that organization that is asking for a business developer, understand what their core business is, what their revenue model is, which environment are they operating in, and what kind of interventions or initiatives can you bring in to help them deliver that vision. And then for that case, then those are the key essentials that I'm getting into the next thing in this discussion. And I believe we are suited and qualified to deliver these solutions. So what is the first essential for you to be a business developer? You see a job that is advertised for business developers. The first thing, understand what field of trade or operation is this organization working in. This case was a private clinic. Therefore, it means private clinics offer healthcare services. They can have lab services, they can have clinical diagnostic services, minor surgical operations because it's a limited clinic. It can have outpatient healthcare services, general physicians and all that. Medicines, because you need to buy your medication. They have a pharmacy component. And then other than that, you need to ask yourself, what other aspects are there? So if they're working in the healthcare space, in this case, that is their field of trade. They're offering healthcare services and products to patients who are ill, who need those services. Once you understand that, understanding the business environment, which overall business environment are they operating in? Who are the other stakeholders that have a role in how they're engaging? When we talk about that clinic in particular, we could see the aspect that they need financing. Are they accredited by some of the insurers? Are they paneled by the NHIF and all that? If that is the case, what are the financing mechanisms that are in place? Is it possible for them to actually drive membership in getting more people who often come to get services within the hospital to be enlisted as to be registered as members of NHIF? Then after that, choosing that particular hospital as their outpatient facility of choice. It therefore means there will be capitation that will be coming to them, enabling them to be able to serve these people. But at the same time, they're helping drive the national agenda on UHC by ensuring more people are registered as NHIF beneficiaries, cushioning them from the challenges that they might have when they fall ill and they're not having a healthcare insurance scheme. So those are some of the things that you could look at. So when you understand the environment, what is the political environment in terms of policies? Are we pro healthcare issues? How is the organization positioning itself in terms of the policy frameworks? The social environment, technological advancements, what are the technological solutions they have? They've integrated that can partner with others. And that is where you can even see, you come as a business developer for a hospital, but you can look at the technological landscape and to see how do you now partner with other technology companies to get them more revenue and also to help you drive that growth. And beyond getting more revenue, it's about cutting down on some of the operational efficiencies. You might find that there have been loopholes where they're losing a lot of money, but because of your ability to scan the environment and see what solutions you can give, you're delivering value to the organization. Then I need to understand the organization by itself. What are its strengths? What are its weaknesses, opportunities and threats? When you're applying for a job, definitely you might not know much, but at least you have an idea of where is that location of the hospital? What are the dynamics of where it's working? How is it integrating into the community? Is it a stakeholder partner to the community, or actually a parasite to the community in terms of taking resources but not giving back? How do you model that kind of an arrangement where the business will be an ally to the community and a strategic value addition or value add to the community? And you as a business developer, you're now positioning the company or the organization as a key player. And therefore that will translate into development and growth of the organization. So once you've understood the field in which you're operating, the business environment, and the organizational capabilities and strengths, then you now move to the next phase where now you come up with ideas. You have to envision ideas, initiatives, and activities that are keen supporting customer or client acquisition. One, after the client acquisition, you need to go to the customer engagement. If I get, let's say, for example, if you're dealing with, let's say, from a technology company, I'm working for a technology company in that case, then we've designed a health information management system. The first thing is to get hospitals to be onboarded onto our platform. That is key. If we have them, that is the acquisition phase. There would be a fee to it, or definitely we'll see what are the business models around that. And if they are able to sustain engagement, that is the key bit. But if you get a client and they leave next day, they get another client, they leave the other day, it will not be sustainable because the measures of success will be driven by how long are you able to sustain them? How valuable is your solution to them? If they leave, definitely another person will not also join, or probably they also affect the acquisition aspect. So you need to acquire them by giving value on what they need, getting the engagement for sustained work in the program, then now having development aspects where you are offering additional valuable services to them. How do I look at this from a technology background, from a technology perspective? I have a platform, I've given it to organizations that are now able to actually plan their pharmaceutical supply chain from the point of what do the customers normally need, what is available in the manufacturing side, how do we make our forecasting and orders in a timely manner? That is the first thing. Therefore, that is our first value proposition, supply chain optimization. Once the supply chain optimization has been done, the other key bit that normally counts is when products are moving, there's need for financing. Who is going to finance it? That is where we now integrate the development aspect. And the development aspect is, I'm working for the technology company, I've delivered a solution to the market, but my customer needs more in terms of financing. Therefore, I get another third-party player, and that is where the understanding of the environment is key. Go to a financial institution, they help you look at how do they design a financial solution that could partner with the organization. So that beyond giving your customers just a technological platform, you're giving them even the financial solution that is integrated into the platform. Therefore, you are developing them. They are growing with you. And as they grow with you, there's that sustained engagement and use of your platform, a sustained uptake of new businesses. And therefore, as a business developer, you're delivering value, you're helping the company grow and venture into new territories. And therefore, you're seeing, envisioning a better future for the organization. And with all these kind of understanding and all this kind of overlay, I believe as pharmacists, we are suited to do these jobs. And we need just to get to understand that this is a place that we can play in. We need to take the challenge and get to it. So the next step for me is, if you see a business development opportunity, ask yourself, how do you plug into it? How do you apply? Do you understand the organization? Then if you're not able to, can you talk to some other people within the environment to give you the insights on what needs to be done, how it needs to be done? Once you do that, it will be a better thing for you to get the job. Then once you are in, deliver your impact the best way you can. Because once you do it, we're going to transform the industries. We're going to transform the sector. And in transforming the sector, you're gaining, your professionalism is growing. You're gaining in terms of the remuneration, the packages and all that. But ultimately, you're giving a solution and helping advance practice in the industry. Thank you so much. I believe this is insightful and this is going to help us much as we move forward. In case of anything, we're more than willing to engage and learn together and see how we can support one another to drive growth in the industry. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, share with your colleagues, like the content, and give us feedback on what you think we can do better, what we can improve on. And if you share that with us, we'll be more than glad to ensure that the subsequent series, the subsequent conversations are optimized to deliver value and to ensure that we grow the industry. Thank you so much. See you again next Sunday.